I'm going to give you one question that proves the truth. I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to give me just a minute to build up to it, okay? I'd love it if you would like and share this and get the word out. So let's just start. Can we agree that evil exists? Put a thumbs up or a Y or an N in the comments. Let me give you an example. The person selling children in the sex slave industry to be used for sexual abuse. Lou is saying, yes, evil exists. Someone who rapes and molests and murders a child, an innocent child, is evil. We would want to see justice for that person, right? Who's harming children. Yes, evil exists. So then we have to decide how much evil is enough for hell and damnation. Everybody watching, I'm sure, is a far cry from the pure evil that I just described. But do we have any sort of darkness in us? Any sort of evil or sin or chaos, whatever you want to say? Do we have that in us? I would say that any darkness is hurting someone. Okay. Have you ever hurt someone? Because when you think about the other side of it, if you get hurt, you want justice, right? You want to go after that person. You want justice if you are hurt. If your child is hurt, you want justice for that person who hurt your child, either physically or emotionally or spiritually, right? So we all have the ability to hurt someone, and kids are not exempt, because on the playground, I see it all the time, right? Like, oh, he hurt my feelings or whatever. And he's being mean. And so we get hurt. It's instinctual to be, first of all, protective of ourselves and our family, but also to fight back. And Linda says it just right. No one is exempt from darkness. So literally everybody has this darkness in us. Linda, I appreciate you. So she's saying chaos does not necessarily mean evil. So I was just kind of throwing out terms that people might use, like energy instead of God, you know, and those kinds of things, because people want to argue that they all can be stacked on top of each other and be similar in that sense. And it says we're all sinners. Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And sin cuts us off from God. Romans 5:12-14 says, when Adam sinned, sin entered the entire human race. Adam's sin brought death, so death spread to everyone, for everyone sinned. Yes, people sinned even before the law was given. So it has nothing to do with when God brought the 10 Commandments down. People sinned before that. And though there was no law to break, since it had not yet been given, they all died anyway, even though they did not disobey an explicit commandment of God as Adam did. So that's New Testament. Then in Isaiah 59, verse 1 and 2, now this is Old Testament. Listen, the Lord is not too weak to save you. He is not becoming deaf. He can hear you when you call, but there is a problem. Your sins have cut you off from God. Because of your sin, he has turned away and will not listen anymore. Literally everybody has this darkness in us. Whenever we are hurt, we want justice. If we can agree on that, then we agree that we want a God of justice. And I'm only going to look in the Bible, but please, if you know the other books, I would honestly really love to hear what they have to say about this. Romans 3:5-8. Isn't it unfair then for God to punish us? And then in the Bible, it actually says this. That is actually the way some people talk. Of course not. If God is not just, how is he qualified to judge the world? I'm going to read that part again. If God is not just, how is he qualified to judge the world? Isn't it true that we hold judges to a higher standard because they're handing out judgment? And if they're caught doing anything evil, we're not going to keep them as a judge. Isn't that true? So God must be just to judge the world. But some might still argue, how can God judge and condemn me as a sinner if my dishonesty highlights his truthfulness and brings him more glory? And verse 8 says, if you follow that kind of thinking, however, you might as well say that the more we sin, the better. As evil exists, sin exists, darkness exists. And we want justice. It feels right for them to get what they deserve. And if you think about it, come on, if we all have that darkness in us and we've hurt people, don't we deserve it too? Don't we deserve to have the punishment? And so there's one question that will set one religion apart as the one with authority, and the others do not have authority. You can't combine them. Here's the question. What if humans are not capable of overcoming sin by our own efforts? That is the one question that no other religion but Christianity can stand up against. Because if we're not capable and sin cuts us off from God, what if humans they are not capable of overcoming that sin that cuts them off from God? What if we're not capable of overcoming that? If we're never able to reach God on our own, that requires God to reach down to us. And there is only one that has God coming down to us. Only one God came down to rescue all humanity, and that is Jesus Christ. So we're going to take a look at Jesus Christ. We're going to talk about people who didn't have the Bible. We're going to talk about people of the Old Testament before Jesus came. We're going to talk about Christians now.